All right, so I'm going to do the next step with Gladys's help. So we have our stirred up goat cheese, lemon zest, garlic, and walnuts. I'm going to take a nice paring knife. I'm going to get the fat end of the breast. I'm going to give it a nice slice all the way through. Try not to make a hole. I'm going to do that to both of them. And I have a nice little pocket now, so I just take a big gob of this, stick it inside. You don't have. It's okay to be sloppy because we want some of the goat cheese to get into the pan, and helps with the sauce. So you don't have to be neat. Just go for it. All right. Once we got that done, wash our hands. A little salt and pepper. Take this over to our pan to get this cooking. I always stir it a little bit so it doesn't stick to get started. I'm going to wash my hands again. And then we're going to do the next step. So while that's cooking, we're going to prepare the sauce that goes on top. The sauce that goes on top starts out with our lemons. Now, if you have a really, really juicy lemon, you don't need two of them, so it kind of depends. I do these upside down, they work better. So we're going to squeeze in lemon. Depends on how much juice you get. I'll do two or I'll do one. So we'll do another one here. And if you use the zest one, squeezes better than the non-zest one because the skin is soft. See how easy that was. And last one there. Alright, and we have 2 tablespoons of walnut oil. And then what I do for the chicken broth is I just get a cup, some super hot water, super hot water. I do about that much. Once that's dissolved, I get that in there. It doesn't have to dissolve fully because we're going to be cooking this anyway. So we get that in there. So we have our walnut oil, lemon, and chicken broth. That's done, ready to go. And so now we just let the chicken cook for a while. The next step, so we're going to let the chicken cook for a little bit, have a wooden spatula ready. Once this gets a little bit done, we're going to roll it over, let it cook a little more, and then into the oven it goes. The point is all this gooey stuff is going to be in the pan. It's going to be in the gravy at the end and the sauce at the end, which is good. I usually add a little salt and pepper here, and I'm going to pause now. Oh, I forgot to turn the oven on to 350. I have a convection oven that doesn't matter. And we're going to give these guys a flip. You see everything kind of sticks. We're going to clean that off later. I don't want this to get too brown and hard. I'd like the chicken to be soft, so I don't want it to cook too hard. All right, for this next step, I'm just going to chop off a bunch of ends of the parsley. I'm not going to put you through it all, but essentially I just try to get all the ends with my scissors, and I just go through the whole bunch until I have a good pile of it. I'll show you when I'm done. All right, I got a nice little pile. I try to avoid the stems. I just basically trim all around the outside of the nice leafy parts. When you buy these, they go, you buy the whole bundle and you use just a small amount, but the rest is thrown away. But you don't want to make too much parsley. All right, this is cooked for a while. It's getting kind of starting to get cooked. I stick a meat thermometer on poultry 165. Now this is hard to do because if you end up getting it in the cheese, it'll prematurely go off. So I've had that happen quite a bit. And then I'm going to stick this into the oven. And let that go. We'll let that cook until the alarm goes off. When that comes out, I am prepared. I have my parsley, I have my liquid for making the walnut sauce, and the remainder of my walnuts ready here by the stove. So when that comes out, we're going to throw that skillet onto the flame, turned on high, and we're going to make our sauce. Yes. So the timer goes off. And I usually let it cook a little longer. Take a little look at it. Looks delicious, but I'm gonna wait a few minutes because I want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Yeah, here we go. I got it at 170 now, and I hope that's good. So I'll remove my chicken. I'm gonna set the burner on high, as high as it goes. And get that over the stove. Pull my chicken out. Now I got all that good stuff left in the bottom. I'm going to let this start getting heated up. Set the chicken aside, grab my wooden scraper, and I'm going to start by adding the liquid. And I already got that scraped out pretty good. So basically I'm washing the pan with this sauce, get all the crusty good stuff from the bottom of the pan with the lemon and chicken broth. We're going to do this for a while until it's boiling, and we're going to let it reduce. So I have the pan scraped really well. You can see wherever I go there's no more bumps left, and also all the chunks and good stuff that's stuck is now in the sauce. And we're going to let that boil. Now depending on how much chicken broth you added or how much water to the chicken broth is how long you got to let it reduce. Just to kind of thicken it up, and then we're going to add some walnuts here pretty shortly. So I went ahead and threw the walnuts in there, the remaining walnuts, and I'm going to continue to let that boil down until it's more of a thick, it gets thicker. Sometimes it takes a while, depends on how much water you added to the chicken broth. Now you can see the consistency is getting a little thicker. It stays away from the pan a little longer. I think we're almost there. So I'm going to go ahead and add my staged parsley and continue to stir. Now if you add the parsley too early, it'll turn black. I don't think it ruins the flavor, but it just kind of makes it less appealing looking. We're going to let this go just for another 30 seconds, and then we're going to pull it out. And you can see how thick it's now getting, kind of thick. We're getting there. Now the one thing about this sauce that's important to note is the oil in the chicken broth, it doesn't emulsify, it doesn't mix. So you'll end up with kind of an oily sauce at the end, and I try to deal with that. Okay, we're all done. We got our sauce and we have our chicken. Because there is some oil on the top, I typically just let a paper towel kind of pull off the extra amounts of that. That's just to reduce the amount of walnut oil. That's pure walnut oil. And I just kind of let this happen and the towel to pull off the top layer. And there you have it, Pins chicken goat cheese chicken.